again for the people. Because for those people who don't know, this guy was selling bulk Hasbros at rock bottom prices.
Yeah.
And a lot of rare stuff. The Purple Warrior and the green cards were just flying out at $100 each. Now, I bought a Mr. Perfect red card from him for about $60 US.
Yeah, I remember.
And I sent it to UKG as an emergency grading job because I wanted them to try and tell me if it was fake or not, because this guy had sold so much. Anyway, I think back in those days when the world was normal and shipping was fast, I was the first one to have a graded figure of the Japanese seller. And I was more than happy to share my findings with the world that it did come back and pass grading. I think it graded an 80, that figure that I bought from him, but it had been passed with a certificate of authenticity, which led me to think, well, let's buy some more. So I bought quite a few things from that guy, and they were always fine, always shipped fast, and always pretty good. But the doubts over the legitimacy never went away. And I actually emailed him through his eBay and said to him, look, how did you get so many figures? And he said to me, I used to own a chain of toy stores, and when the chain closed down, all of my stock went into storage. And he goes, I used to buy a heap of wrestling stuff because it was so popular, but it sort of closed down overnight and everything went into storage, and I haven't been into the storage unit for 20 years. And it was very plausible. And then when you see some of his other listings, you realize that he's not telling a fib, because he's listing a whole bunch of other random toys that you haven't seen for a long time. And people say, well, if he's a bootlegger, he's going to rip you off. Why would you bootleg Nails and Skinner?
Yeah.
You'd be bootlegging Andre Macho 1 and the other cards they're going to sell for 10 times more. Yeah. So, and you wouldn't be selling them at stupidly low prices. He was just trying to clear them. That Purple Warrior was selling for $700 to $800 mint on card about 4 years ago. That was one of the rarest cards to get, and he must have sold 500 of them in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And now it's probably 150, 200. Yeah.
I got a Series 3 Warrior, a Series 3 Mr. Perfect, and a Series 3 Earthquake.
Yep.
And Mr. Perfect got graded 85. The other two got graded 80, which I ended up selling on and upgrading. But yeah, they work for me. He was good to deal with, fast shipping. They used to come in that little plastic bag. He was good. Good.
So interesting to see he's back. He's got more. Maybe the bootleg machine's kicked off again. Now, moving on. Next one, anyone who missed out, $120 free postage on eBay at the moment. Sorry, if you want to get it, it's there for you. I might have to buy one of these and cancel my other order and just take the hit, because chances are that's not going to come through. This figure, it could be somebody in the group. It could be Jackson Benjamin, I reckon. But Harley Race Classic Jack Superstar figure for $75. This is a really cool figure and so much cheaper than the Elite. So jump on that. That is a ripper price. And if it's Jackson's, I'll take a 5% commish. And speaking of commish, possibly the best Elite ever made, the Macho King Randy Savage Legends Elite, as we discussed earlier. The ringside exclusive, $200, very, very good price. I would say you could actually sell this for a lot more in the US. I think it would go for a little bit more, probably about the same. And that's my mate down the road, Aaron Ferguson, selling that based on the eBay handle. So give it a buy. And I actually thought about buying it. I just reckon it's a ripper price. And Aaron's a great dude. I
sold one recently. I'm sure I sold it for like $300 or $350.
There you go. And Aaron, I'm just down the road, mate, when you want to give me that commish. So that is what's online, mate.
Great stuff. Good segment. It's good to have a bit of a rant too. I feel a little bit lighter. All right. Next up, we have got, what do we got? Fig preview and review.
It's time to review a fig from today or the past. Which will it be? Stay tuned to find out.
Now we're talking the Mattel Legends line. We're up to Series 4, and I'm going to go out there straight off the bat and say I feel like Series 4 is probably their best line to date so far, right? I think we've questioned.
I'm glad. I reckon this is the turning point of the line.
Yep.
I'll bring it up.
Agree.
We've got the Demolition Axe. Here comes the Smash. We've got Hillbilly Jim, Ultimate Warrior with the American face paint, and George the Animal Steel with the main doll, and really cool figures. All 5 are highly collectible. Probably the only one that gets a bit of a bad rap is Hillbilly Jim. He just, I don't know, his gimmick sort of just missed the mark with some people, I reckon. He just came off as a bit of a doofus at times.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I thought he was great. I thought he was really good. Big unit. Yeah, look, the Demolition figures are worth a fortune now.
Yeah.
They're worth a fortune, especially mint on card.
Is that because they haven't released many Demolition Elites after this?
Yeah, probably. Have they released any?
I don't know. I can't think of any.
Because things have gone pear-shaped between Demolition and the WWE.
Yes. Well, did they sue them for the concussion? Is that Demolition?
No, I don't think it's that. I'm not sure what it is. I'm sure one of our members would know, but there are issues.
Steve Campbell, tell us, mate.
The beard of knowledge.
Beard of knowledge. What is the reason Demolition and WWE have got their knickers in a twist?
Well, let's go from the top. Hillbilly Jim, how do you rate it?
Good figure, excellent likeness. 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I think it's a great figure. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Warrior.
Good figure. Just I don't love the head. I would say 7 out of 10 as well. Love the belt and the orange and blue trunks. The orange and blue.
The belt's fantastic. That would be his Wrestlemania. When he came out and beat Honky Tonk Man in 30 seconds.
SummerSlam 89.
Was that Royal Rumble? SummerSlam?
Was it SummerSlam?
SummerSlam. And then we've got George Animal Steel.
Hang on a second, James. We've just got the bit of knowledge has chimed in with correct, Chris. Concussion lawsuit.
Oh,
Thank you, beard of knowledge. Luke Young's also confirmed that SummerSlam 88. Oh, I'm getting old.
There you go. Yeah, look at that. Luke Young, last Demolition toys until the Pro Wrestling Crate Micro Brawlers. So that's probably why they're so expensive. Who are we up to now? George the Animal Steel. Great figure.
Yeah, love it. Love the accessories.
Can't floor it at all. And then we've got Demolition.
Just remember George. As a kid watching George eat a turnbuckle and just used to scratch my head and go, what on earth is going on?
I just could not understand how a man would have hair on his back or all over his body. And now that I'm 42, I understand.
Happens to the best of us.
Yes. My favorite, I'm going to say George the Animal Steel.
Yeah.
Out of that line. But my issue with Mattel's, I reckon they're only starting to do things about it recently, but the Demolition look great. The Warrior looks great, but their legs, they're just long and thin legs. Their legs just aren't right with the Mattel figures.
The Demolition legs are not great.
No. They almost curve in, if you know what I mean. So they don't really stand up that well.
Warrior's not too bad, but Demolition's legs don't look right. But if you ever watch Axe never his legs don't look right in real life.
Yeah, right.
So, good line though, and well done on the Legends. Just starting to turn it around before it gets even better.
Yep, so Series 5 next week. Stay tuned. All right, that time of the night again where we hear another word from our major sponsor, Go Figure Collectibles.
Coming towards the ring,
Mattel, Jax, Hasbro, LJN, Remco, Super 7. Are you looking for a store that stacks all the latest and greatest wrestling figures? Then look no further because Go Figure Collectibles has everything you're looking for. Jeff and the team at Go Figure Collectibles are always filling the shelves with the latest releases and buying up old cherished collections to fulfill any vintage collection needs. Visit them online at gofigurecollectibles.com.au, or if you're in the Melbourne area, go check out their store at 104 Bakers Road, Coburg, North Victoria, and introduce yourself to Jeff and the team. Plus, Wrestling with Figure podcast listeners can use the code FDU5 to save 5% off your next purchase store-wide. That's Go Figure Collectibles.
It's question time. It's question time. It's time to ask the boys a question. What's on your mind? Let us know and we will tell you the answer.
Hey, James, before we get into question time, mate, what did you think of this I posted today?
Yes, fantastic. Who am I? Is that Zach?
You're Mario Lopez, yeah.
Mario Lopez, not bad. I can live with that.
So I'm Zach, obviously. And then you got Brett's, I can't remember their names. And do you notice
Screech?
that's Screech's Brad Perryman there? You see how I snuck him in?
Yeah. Bradley, that must be his kindergarten photo, right? Looks very young and fresh there.
I think he still looks the same, doesn't he? He hasn't changed much. So,
well, tonight's Q&A is the monthly Go Figure giveaway, and tonight's giveaway is from memory an 85. What? Carrying Cross.
Brad's not happy, mate. He's in the comments. He's not happy. We're going to start calling him Screech. Yes, Carrying Cross, mate.
Carrying Cross
up on the screen.
So for tonight's lucky question winner, they'll be taking home an Elite Series 85 Carrying Cross. Great looking figure. Tats look awesome. All right, let's kick it off. We've got our first question coming from Mr. Luke Young. When it comes to your collection, do you have a plan for once you get older? I.e., will you sell off a majority before you get to a certain age, or just leave to your kids to decide what to do with it all? Good question.
It's a great question, and I've been toying with that. Like I recently sold my graded 85 Bret Hart, Purple Heart, not because I didn't want it, but because I'm starting to think, like, do I just keep what I want? And I know James has been thinking the same thing. Do I just keep what I want and keep the high-end stuff, or do I start moving on stuff that I just don't need in my collection? And I've really slowed down this year. Since probably about October, I've only been buying the figures of the classics, whereas before that, I was buying just anything that I thought was cool because I'm running out of space, and it's quite hard to convince my son. Like, I don't even know if he wants them when he gets older. So, don't know. I think everyone will get to a point where they just go, you know what, I'm going to move it on now. But hopefully, with the release of the retros and the release of the zombie figures and Chella, that we'll start to see more collectors of a younger age. Like Brad Perryman's only 15, so, you know, he must have some mates.
Yeah.
What about you, James?
It's a great question, Luke. And that, I have been, as everyone knows, I've been selling off a bunch of stuff of late for that reason. I think I'm 42 this year, and I plan to hold on to. I just have really clear rules. I think we joke about it all the time. I have really clear rules. I only keep what's the most nostalgic to me, and I have the ability to go, well, I've held this figure for 10 years or 5 years or 2 years. Does it fit within my rules? No. Get rid of it. Cash it in while I can, because I look at the ones that I'm most passionate about, which is series 1 to 4, and I'm prepared. It's not about the money with them, right? For me, even if I sold them all now, I'd make a shitload of money. But for me, I'm prepared to hold on to those till they're worth absolutely nothing, because they mean more to me than money. But I've got rid of other figures that have made a shitload of money. So I'm happy to.
That's the same with me with the loose Hasbros. Like, my complete loose Hasbro collection means more to me than the value. So I wouldn't be selling them. Like, I think you'd have to be a real idiot to sell your loose Hasbros, like James, who did that a few weeks ago. But I'll be keeping my loose Hasbros. Then I look at my elites, and I look at some of my Minton. I had 80 Minton card Hasbros at one point, and I'm down to 2 now. I'm down to 2. Wow. So to go from 80 to 2 is a pretty big deal. But I just don't need the Minton card Hasbros, because the loose Hasbros are what it is for me. But then you talk to some of the other big collectors in the group, and you talk to people overseas, and there's people like John Watson, who has every figure graded like 80 or above.
90.
And 90, yeah. And that's what it means. It's for him. He needs the graded figures and he needs